What if dragons existed during World War II? What would have that been like? That's the theme of today's Bande Dessinée we're going to be looking at. My name is Frédéric Guimont, and this is Bande Dessinée for Stupid Americans. It's not an insult, it's just a way of me saying uh, this is me presenting Bande Dessinée to my American friends that don't have access to the European market, don't speak French, and this is a kind of way to introduce them to what's going on in this part of the world because a lot of interesting stuff is happening. This is definitely one of them. This one is called Guerres et Dragons, so basically means war and dragons. I would probably translate it to Dragon Wars, something like that. This is volume one, The Battle of England. So let's have a look at it. This one's incredible. It's the art, the story, everything I love about this. Uh, this is written by Nicolas Jarry. Uh, there's also somebody credited as script doctor, and this is like in English script doctor. So probably because there's not a French translation for the term script doctor yet. His name is David Courtois, and the art is by someone who simply goes by the name Vax. Strange, strange artist name, strange nom de plume. And the colors are by Vincent Powell or Vincent Powell. This is a series that was a concept created by J.L. Iston and N. Jarry. So Nicola Jarry and someone called J.L. Iston, which I'm not sure who that is. This is published by Soleil, Édition Soleil in Paris. And yeah, this came out in 2024, last year. Uh, art's absolutely beautiful. We start in the setting of World War II. Fighter pilots. We have a father-son team. We're learning. The son is 17. He's like learning the ropes. His dad is kind of older veteran, and we see our first dragon right there on pages 2 and 3. Beautiful, beautiful art. The anatomy is perfect. The colors are great. Swirling of the clouds around him is very kind of American style paneling layout we see nowadays. Like usually you'd have more traditional panels in the old bande dessinée, but they've learned a lot from manga and in comics along the way. So we have a lot of flight maneuvering happening here, and we get back home. We see they live in a very nice home, the luxury home here, fighter pilot and his son, and we see the son has a little brother, a little sister, and we see their mother shortly. And slowly but surely, we're introduced to another dragon, or I think this is the same dragon we see in the first one. Let me just verify this. So this dragon comes in, swoops, looks kind of menacing and threatening just by its size, but turns out it doesn't attack them. But then we see it at night. She's walking in the park, sees this huge beast of a dragon, runs into the glass, what do you call it? Basically where they keep all the plants, exotic plants. Sorry for my searching for my words sometimes, switching from French to English here. And the dragon looks very menacing, crashing the ceiling, a lot of glass falling down, and he protects her. So he comes in, looks threatening, but his wings protect her from the falling glass. And you see there's a certain kind of connection with her straight from the beginning. I got my name hiding a bit of the art at the bottom here. You see? And the beast gets shot instantly by the father and son trying to protect the daughter. But the dragon could easily chew them up, spit them out. But the daughter is like, enough, go away. And then the dragon goes away, and now they're kind of realizing the father's like, whoa, there's a connection with this girl and the dragons. And you got to understand the setting here. Dragons are already part of the army. There's battalions of dragons. They exist. The Germans have dragons, and here in England they have dragons as well. But this is the first time the daughter's in contact with the dragon, and the father thinks this is an interesting opportunity, and but the mother won't have anything to do with it. And they learn on the radio that Hitler's forces are going to be attacking England any day now. So they send the younger son and the daughter off to America, off to New York on a boat trip to keep them safe. And the mother's left with the elder son here. And the elder son meets a captain that's got a face full of scars. Is an interesting fellow. He says, "You're going to be watching over me. We're going to be teaming up." And the son is, "Yes, yes, Captain." And then he gives him his first lesson: don't ever trust someone you don't know. Saying like, even if I'm giving you an order, keep your wits about yourself. So we got the daughter and younger son on their way to New York, and then they're listening to the news that's happening. So the boats are going to be attacked. The Germans are starting an offensive against the boats, and this boat has no protection. They have no escort. So she's very worried. She's trying to listen into the news that the older men are talking about, and the younger son just wants to flee and bring her to see something that he spotted, which is the dragon. So he sees the dragon for the first time, but she recognizes the dragon from the previous night, and she calls it her dragon for the first time. So there's definitely a connection there, or the beginning of a connection. We see our first aerial fight, Germans with versus the English, and very beautiful action. I like the onomatopoeia of the shooting here. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. It's filled with fire, and it's like an explosion colored onomatopoeia. That's beautiful. I'm gonna steal that for sure. Great idea. And we get to see the first of the German dragons. Look how badass they are. Beautiful red dragons. They've got curvy horns and wide ears. You got, as you see here, very menacing. Damaged the plane. The younger kid is flying back safely, but what a close call. And then we see cut back to the boat at night, and then there's just some movement. We're not sure what it is, undetermined movement, and the character's head is just completely decapitated in one swift move, giving him the fright of his life. And then we cut and we see there's a German dragon on top of the boat, and the daughter with her younger brother are just running towards the back of the boat instantly. She's smart. She's got her wits about herself, and she jumps off the boat instantly. And the younger brother is like complaining, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? Have you gone completely insane?" And then as they turn back and see the dragons completely burning the boat, and they would have died instantly. And we see her dragon come intervene and start fighting with the German dragon, and they have a fight there over the wreckage of the boat, thinking. And then the dragons split, and they're left in the ocean, in the cold ocean. And then we cut back to home, and this is where they learn the news that her daughter's boat, her daughter and son's boat has sank. They've been attacked, they burned, sank, and no survivors is what they hear. But we cut here. We see that on a safety boat, on a raft, she was able to save her little brother, and they're kind of drifting on the ocean for the moment being. And cut back to England, where the German dragons are like blowing up the downtown area, laying siege, and well, siege might not be the right word, but just burning up the entire downtown here. And the Spitfires, I think these are Spitfires. I may be wrong. I'm not an expert in World War II planes, but we see here they're trying to lure the dragons away, and we got the blue dragons that are on the side of the English fighting the German dragons here. And yeah, so basically the captain's saying, stay away from dragons. You're not suited for that. We got dragons to tackle the dragons head on. The mother is obviously sad listening to the news, and we see the brother and sister being like thrown into the ocean. Is bad goes to worst, and they wake up later and they find themselves in a lighthouse. They were saved by a Scotsman who turns out he didn't actually save them. He just found them on his doorstep of the lighthouse here. So we're going to learn in a moment that it was actually the dragon that saved her. And yeah, so they're wondering like how long they're going to have to stay at the lighthouse here. And he says probably a fortnight, which is usually the time it takes for for his resources at the lighthouse to be renewed. But since this is wartime, 2 weeks could turn to a month or to a year potentially, which is devastating to these kids who just want to go home and find their mother, right? So we see the younger daughter has an idea. She's thinking that if she turns off the lighthouse, it's going to raise questions, and they're going to come find her much faster. And obviously, the Scotsman is like, "You're an idiot. What do you think you're doing?" And he's very bad health. He's out of breath, and tells him to go find his medicine. Which is, she says, "Your medicine smells a lot like my dad's bourbon, by the way." And he's like, "You mind your own business, kid." But he instructs her how to light it again. This is very important because boats are coming in the night, and they could it's a life or death situation if they can't see the land. So that's what the lighthouse is for here. And as the Scotsman is resting, they go into his room and they find that he's actually a World War I veteran, and he was actually synced with a dragon himself. So he was like one of the famous fighters with the dragons during World War I, which is we see his dragon here. His dragon kind of went AWOL, went crazy, it seems, and caused a fire in I forget the year. It's listed here, shortly after the war, I believe. And yeah, I think the dragon was put down shortly after, and he was sent to the lighthouse, basically spared from something worse, or sent there as a form of, purgatory. And the morning after, they see a boat that kind of got stranded on the shore, well, near the shoreline here. And they see, the first thing they notice is the boat has claw damage, so giving us the impression that it's been attacked by a dragon. And this is when we see that there's another form of dragon. Well, first we notice that the dolphins are kind of running away from something, giving us a clue that something's coming up. And we see here it's a huge sea serpent, which is another form of dragon. It's coming up close to the little boy. The Scotsman is telling him to get away, get to safety, but he's paralyzed with fear. So the Scotsman takes out his shotgun, shoots a warning shot, trying to wake the young child from his basically his trance, and get him to safety. The dragon tries to go after the kid, and is quickly intercepted by the girl's dragon. And this is when he sort of understands. Well, actually, was revealed, the younger boy revealed to the Scotsman that his sister had a link with the dragon, which which is how the Scotsman learned of it. And here the dragon comes to their defense, attacking the huge sea serpent, and the girl just doesn't know what to do. She's inexperienced, so the Scotsman just slaps her kind of into a fit of rage. In a way, it's kind of his intention. He's like, "You got to channel that rage, girl, and guide your dragon to defeat the threat here." And the dragon is able to kill the dragon with one swift, like ripping out his top of his head with his eyes. It seems very violent attack, very brutal, but very efficient. And she feels the dragon's rage as if it was her own, and the connection is strengthened, and it is complete in a certain way. Then we cut back to the mother and the son, and the son telling his mother not to despair at the idea that she lost her daughter and younger boy. And he's telling her, "Listen, we don't know that they're passed away. She's very resourceful, and your my sister doesn't give up, just like my mom." So in a way, saying, "Don't despair. You taught us well not to give up." And here the carcass of the dragon is kind of stinking up on the shore. It's going to be washed away with the tide, an upcoming tide, but it's not time yet. And here we have the Scotsman teaching the girl the tactics of war. So basically, she has a good connection with the dragon, but there's a lot that she needs to learn if she's going to be an efficient warrior with the dragon here. And So they're having fun, they're playing around, and they're having like a moment of levity. And this is the first time that the dragon comes in a positive moment, right? It's always been fear and violence and combat, but now she's just like playing around, having fun, and she has a nice quiet connection moment with the dragon, who flees in at the sight of boats coming around shore. So we see a whole battalion. I think these are the English that are being followed by the Germans. So we have a war happening here, right at their footsteps of the lighthouse, and she's bring. So basically, the Scotsman is telling her, "Get your dragon to safety. He's outnumbered. This is not the time to fight." The girl insists that she needs to fight, and besides, there's not really enough time to flee, anyways. So she has to confront, or she's like directing her dragon to confront the German dragons, which are bigger, and there's more of them as well. And they attack each other, and they fall under the sea. And we see that there's another sea dragon here, and he seems to be going for her dragon, as if it wasn't in enough trouble. But turns out it ignores the dragon and goes for the German dragons instead. So she kind of comes to the conclusion that someone on the boat must be controlling this dragon, like she's controlling the blue one here. Uh, the Germans are continuing the fight up above. Her brother is amongst the pilots that are fighting the Germans off, and eventually they win the battle, drive the Germans away. But it's not the end of the war. Obviously, the back at home in England, the city of London is under attack, and that's where we're left. The daughter and the younger brother are reunited with the mother at the end of the book here, at the end of tome one, and we're left with the dragon in the forest, kind of watching over them. And that's the story for volume one. There seems to be three more to come. I think I saw number two in stores. I don't have it yet, but if you guys enjoyed this one and want me to cover number two, please leave a message in the in the chat. And I do appreciate watching up until the end. My name is Frédéric Guimont, and stay tuned for another episode next Saturday. Thank you very much.